Good morning, everybody. It's Ace Trades. It is Friday, May 8th. The Bible says in the book of Psalms, chapter 19, verse 1, "The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork." So if you want some proof of God, go out on a clear, dark night, someplace where there's no light pollution, in a pitch black, and look up, and you'll see proof of God. All right, and the chart. Um, Overnight low, these are not super well defined. I just kind of put it down here. It's around 630. I mean, I don't know, really this is anything down here is really solid. It's just something to keep in mind. Even if you moved up here, you know, that's a place where it looks like there's some support touched again. Maybe we'll even leave it there for now, and see if there's if it comes down here, if you get some sort of reaction. And then moving up, kind of this choppy. There's not really even an uptrend you can really kind of look at. I mean, I kind of look at this as one leg, and maybe this is a second leg. And so I just put the highs here, like the last point of resistance where prices kind of sold off. It's kind of ugly price action right now. Um, so we'll just, again, we'll wait and see if we can get any clear structures that we can work with. So I don't know, it looks like maybe this is maybe pushing up here to try to retest already. Really nothing's really super defined. You might have another kind of interim area of support you want to keep an eye on right in this area. We might want to look at that. I'll just put it on here as like a gray line because you can see how we tested again, wicked into it, pushed up. So might want to keep an eye on that as a support area. But yeah, that's it for now. I'll be back again later. All right, so we could probably look at this as an uptrend that we could maybe use to trade. Just want to be careful of these highs here. But I think I'd still be okay. If we got some sort of correction that looked like a good setup, I think I'd still be okay at taking that. This looks like, you push down, choppy correction, retest, bounced right straight off of that. So let's just wait and see, if we get something here. All right, so we get this break new high. We get this lower high. Slightly risky to me because it's right into this overnight high where the resistance is. And you can see how prices are just trying to hold that. It may end up pushing down through, but that's not really what you want to see. So yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, it's very. What do I want to say? It's very sideways. It doesn't look very strong. This may end up pushing down through, but I don't really like how that just closed right into where I have the highs, the resistance marked at the highs there. So I would skip that, and the EMA is like just a couple points away. And you can see this thing is trying to bounce here. It may not. It may end up turning down, but yeah, I just don't like how that printed there. So you can see that's why. So anyhow, we'll just keep watching. This kind of looks the way this moves is kind of looks kind of played out. Like this does not typically look like a structure that wants to just keep going higher off that. That would look very strange, but strange things happen sometimes. So anyway, just got to keep watching for something you're comfortable with. All right, so we had this, push up here, chopped around a little bit, made kind of like a little double top, pushed back down. I don't I don't like taking this here as a long, because my expectation would be that prices are going to try to fade down in here. So I'm not going to guess that it's going to bounce in this area and keep going. I just think that's too risky when this is all played out. I'm expecting prices to try to fade back down in here now, which they don't. It end up bouncing, but it's not a trade I want to take due to the context. So maybe prices held that and they're going to keep going higher now. So we'll just have to wait and see. Sorry, I think I kind of glossed over this here. So you get this break, but there's no opportunity to get in for a new high. You would have been looking for like this to push down again. You got the one leg here. You started to get the second leg. We would be looking for it to come back down here to get in with something, and it just pushes up. So no chance there to get in on anything. And so now we're just waiting for a new structure. All right, so we can see, prices pushed up here, basically like two legs. I don't know if it's measured, but you can kind of see that from here. Basically, if you look at this as like, let's go right there and call that one leg. Okay. Oh, get my favorite color on here. All right, second leg, kinda. And now we're heading back down here. So let's see what happens here. I don't really want to see this. This is bouncing immediately here at the overnight high, which is not what you want to see, because then that makes you apprehensive about taking a short into something bouncing off the overnight high. Because what you'd be looking for is, after you get all this, plays out, you'd be looking for a short entry off this push down. But the hope was that it would just, either not get that close yet, or just push right through, not come back here and test it, because now you just have to be concerned about prices. That's what prices do. They test areas of support and resistance. And so area of resistance, pushed up through it, tested it, and ran away from it, coming back to test it again. And do I really want to take a pattern short into here if prices, all they wanted to do was come back down here and test this before they go higher? It's a nuance to the the structure, I guess. So this is the structure we'd be looking at trading, but bigger picture, we have to be aware that prices are bouncing off this area here that they bounced off of before. So I'm just not sure yet about what to do with a short if it sets up here. Um, and that's kind of one of the nuances of trading the price action is, you really don't want to have anything contextually against you when you're taking a trade. So I'm not sure about that. I may skip a pattern short here if something sets up. Not sure. So I may take it. So at this point, it's not super clear for me what I want to do here. But anyway, that's just the struggle you have in real time as you're assessing the price action. So anyway, that's what I would be looking at, but we'll be back later. Okay, so, well, the price action didn't make us have to try to make that hard decision. It just broke and pushed down to a new low off a one-legged break there. So again, just waiting to see what happens. Maybe get a bigger structure here. Not thinking long. I'm not thinking long right now at all. I wouldn't really think about a long until you get prices moving in the other direction. Um, just because of this overnight range here, um, you have to worry about that getting faded. So just got to keep waiting. Just keep an eye on this. Looks like this kind of played out with that, but you just cannot take a trade like that with this bias against you, right? Just, I mean, this could easily just fold over and keep going down into the range. So, that's just not a trade you want to take. Now we pushed back up. Prices may try to hold this EMA now and push up again. Who knows? You're just waiting for good structures to trade, watching for playouts, watching for prices to go in the other direction. And sometimes it does reverse, but it doesn't give you a chance to get in. Like this may just bounce, hold the EMA here, and just keep going. So just need a lot of things to kind of work out. All right, so we, pushed off here, got up, into this area here where we were, sold off before, chopped around, and now we're heading back down. You can see how this appears to be stronger than that move because we did not really check up here at this overnight high. So maybe we can get a nice trend down here that we can get a trade off of. So we'll watch that. All right, so waiting, watching this. We get this leg up, and this is real. These are printing real slow, and then you get this up, and then all of a sudden, like the last second, this bar collapses 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. So I was looking to go short up here, not way down here, because now you're pushing back. You just have to be careful of this area here because prices keep bouncing here. You did kind of push through it there, but you're still getting a reaction way too close to where prices are bouncing before to not be concerned about it anymore. Ideally, what you look for on one of these is you look for a push way down in here and then a couple legs back, testing it from the underneath. So I'm not going to take this short right here. Huge bar, much larger than the ATR for the moment, which is probably like between 2 and 3. And then, you're right into like this level. So you can see what's happening here. This is bouncing right here. So you have to be concerned about that. So, just a bad print on your signal bar there. So couldn't take it. And, maybe this is going to hold here and maybe we'll get some sort of push up. Maybe this will turn into a bigger range here. So we'll have to see if this pushes up, how this reacts to this area. Maybe you'll get a larger range developing here. So we'll have to wait and see. Okay, so we have, there's like not a great range here. There's more like resistance with, excuse me, with some, I don't know, it's more like just resistance with some not clear lows here. So basically when you get up into this area, you get selling tries to come in, but notice that you're pushing down lesser, what's the word? I'm trying to think. Fewer and fewer. It's going shorter and shorter distances towards the bottom of, where these support areas are. So, and then here it gets real choppy. You got a nice clean push down, clean push up, push down. It's real choppy and bounces here again. And then you get this bar pushes into the EMA and bounces higher. If you had gotten, I would say, if this pushed up real clean, like if you had real clean legs here and you got that bar, maybe more inclined to like this taking a short here, but now you have the EMA is following up and it's already shown like it's formed some resistance there and pushed higher. So that's why with have 1 point here basically to the EMA and this is pushed up. The EMA is shown to be supportive here. I don't like shorting into that. If you had gotten 2 clean legs up and then got this poke out of this resistance, I'd say that's probably, a decent trade. Excuse me, a decent trade to take. But I don't like how price is behaving here, at the moment. So just got to sit tight and wait for something better. Okay, everybody. I've been watching this, pretty much the whole time, but just nothing to talk about. You're just getting after we had this little thing here. There's not really a range here. Prices aren't coming down anywhere consistent. You do kind of have some consistent resistance, but it's not. I mean, like a region. It's not. It's like a 3 or 4 point range. It's not. it's not turning down exactly off the same place all the time. So it's kind of difficult to assess where it's actually going to turn down. You may have thought it was here and then bounced off the EMA and bounced again. And then finally here is where it decided to kind of push down, but you don't know. You don't know it's going to bounce here and keep going. So there's just not a lot here. It's just the volume's kind of died down and there's a resistance area, but no clear support area. So, and there's nothing, even if you're looking for swings, there's nothing, it's not giving you anything to even look at. Even if you were looking for, oh, I'm going to take a bar, I'm going to take a nice signal bar. You're not getting a nice signal bar, at least not on my chart. So there's nothing to do. You're just sitting here, watching the chart basically. So if you have trouble, somebody asked me about staying focused. If you have trouble staying focused, there may be a number of things that everybody's got a different personality. Everybody's got, a different way their mind works and the amount of concentration time period they can handle something. So, you may just have to get up, walk away. You may just have to, go do something for an hour or whatever. Or, sometimes people work better if you have, get your mind off something, but you want to stay there, kind of just keep an eye on it. Work with some brain teasers. Maybe there's a little game you can play. Anything you have to figure out what works for your personality and what your ability to your concentration level. People have different challenges mentally, whether it be like an ADD or whatever. You can't sit and just sit there and do nothing for for long periods of time. You have to keep your mind engaged. So you have to kind of figure out what works for you, and yeah, and sprinkle that stuff in. You just want to make sure you're not so distracted that you're just missing stuff on the chart. Now, if you need to step away for an hour or whatever, that's just the nature of that's going to happen. But go for a walk or whatever you have to do. I'm the kind of person I do get up just for the sake of not sitting here the whole time. Or sometimes I got stuff to do, but um, I'm the kind of person I could just sit here all day and do nothing. Or um, if I have to be a little distracted, I got some stuff handy, something little thing to read or um, game to play or something like that, or a Sudoku or something. So yeah, everybody's different, so it's hard for me to give advice on that. You just have to figure out what the type of person you are, type of personality that you have, and what's gonna help you stay fresh to be able to concentrate. So um, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to I think to say about that. So this is just very boring. There's nothing here the whole time. You were looking for something here, but it's just closes too low. And then you just kind of chop around in swings, but it's not really evident where those swings are going to end or not. So just bad price action right now. But you have that stretches of that, days of that. So we'll just sit and keep waiting. All right. Well, I had to refresh my chart, and of course, I get a chart crash here, which collapses the hour between 11 and 12. So some of these bars kind of reprinted in a different way, but I don't really see any way that I would have been interested in. There's a really small second entry long here after this push up, but the bars are very stacked right there. And then at 2 o'clock, there's nothing on the schedule, but we got some sort of, at least nothing that I have marked. We got some sort of volatility spike there at 2. So this is it's just kind of chopping upward, but there's no visible like rhyme or reason to it that I can tell. Of course, I'm missing this hour here, but and I checked I have the desktop software for Tradeovate, so I checked that just to make sure. It also crashed at this hour, so it must be the provider, um, and not necessarily a browser thing. Eventually, sometimes during the day, sometimes later, these come back, but um, yeah, this is just a big mess. You got two legs up here, but then you really get nothing to go on. It just ends in this green bar and then dumps down. So it's really just price action is really very ugly right now. Um, so nothing you can really do with it. All right, so after all this chop for hours and hours and hours, we finally get some prices decide to head down here. So uh, I still think this is all one pretty pretty clean trend down. So we'll see if we can, catch something. Again, we push down. We're back into this area where prices were bouncing before. So we'll see kind of what they do here. Um, we'll just keep an eye on it. Okay, guys. Fortunately, I took another loser right here. So saw this downtrend. Look good there, but again, this area has been holding as when prices come down to this area, it's been holding as support. But I just thought that get my color on here. I just thought that with how strong this was um, pushing, I thought this was going to retest. So again, there's just some contextual things there. Um, Unfortunately, took a loss there, but it looks like a pretty good trade to me. So you just have those things. So we just keep watching the chart, and yeah, there's been a couple tough ones. There was one, the one the other day I avoided because of the contextual thing, but I just thought that this was um, this would push down based on how strong that was. So, but maybe overall you're kind of in a bigger range here. So, um, there's just I was aware of that, but I just thought that it would work, and it didn't. So we'll just wait for the next one. So let's see, what is it? 3 o'clock. I'll get an hour yet. I'll keep watching the chart for a little while. All right. So this is making it's almost like yesterday. It's making a second leg up off this. Like this is the first leg. Here's the second leg. I really don't like taking a trade after this second entry failed, because you just never know if this is going to turn into something else, and then you get trapped again, and then you got two losers back to back. So this could very well be like a second leg up that comes in the fashion of two legs, but I'm not going to take a trade here just for that reason. Now you're right into the EMA, so yeah, if this goes down and ends up retesting and winning, so be it. But I'm not going to take another trade right after that. After this one failed to execute and do what I thought it would do. This thing, um, this thing might still retest. I probably should have given more respect to this area here, but we've just been having some strange breaks and retests. Um, even when you see a couple clean legs, it's been behaving strangely where it pushes up. I mean, you are into a measured move area now, which you can't always wait for the measured move, because it's just not it's not always going to get there. Um, if you could just wait on measured move, then you'll miss trades. Um, but I have to study this some more because maybe been noticing when the legs have been kind of spread out, and you get these engulfing bars that are kind of beside another bar, that it's struggling to just push down. So here you can see it coming down now, and this may very well push down and retest. It's just been the way the bars have been printing some of these trades. It's been very kind of weird in how it gets there. What was I gonna say? Yeah, maybe should have respected this just as a point of support. But like here it comes. This may just retest now, and it did that yesterday. Hold on a second. Right, so here's yesterday's chart, and you have this downtrend, but I kind of avoided this because of this little thing here, but this still pumps up and then comes back down and retests. But you can see how the legs are kind of spread out a little bit. So then you get that same kind of deal where you get this, it's almost an engulfing bar sort of thing. And then let me look at, there's one other, even the day I took that one trade. Hold on a second. Right, so here's the first. You have this big downtrend and you get these two legs that are kind of spread out. And you get that entry, and I got out of that trade for a core position at 2 points. But you can see this doesn't push down immediately right here. This pumps back up, and then chops around, and then retests. So this has been doing some kind of weird things. So I'm gonna need to go back and study these and be a little bit more leery when you get two legs that are kind of spread out looking, as opposed to some of the other trades. Let me bring some of those up. I don't know. I looked at some of that stuff. I think the main issue here is this support. Every time you come down into this area, price is pushed up, holding, pushes down, and holding. And it kind of reminds me of that other trade I built out of last month. I'll show you that one. This one here. So you see how I have this range mark. There's bouncing. Then you get this push down, and you get two nice clean legs. This does push down, but I think that's just good fortune there. I think probably, the context is you don't want to short here because this just broke out. So I think that's probably the issue with the trade today. So I just got to be more aware of that. So I just wanted to hold this side by side because it's kind of interesting. It is almost the same, like it almost prints like the same for the setup. You can see like, you get the same kind of deal. Like you get 1, 2, 3 bars up, 2 bars down, 1, 2, and then you get this bar here, and it's almost exactly the same kind of setup. The way it spreads out, the way it prints, and then the next bar is like this little doji-ish thing, doji, but instead of getting, pushing down and allowing me to get out of that before it pumps up, it just pumps up. Very interesting. So that's the kind of stuff, when you're studying and, you take losers or whatever, and something just kind of like sticks out to you. It's just part of your study, part of you honing your skill, part of you getting better. Like I said, I'm still getting better, obviously. So that's very interesting. Okay, back to the chart. Okay, so so now we're obviously okay. Got to look at this as a range. Highs are not totally well defined, but if we get like a second leg up here back into this area and it gives us a nice setup, then that's probably something that we can look at taking. So watching to see if prices come back up here into this, sort of resistance area and what it gives us. All right, everybody. It's about 10 till, so I'm just gonna bail out here. 10 till the close for the weekend, and within the last 10 minutes, you can get some spikes and stuff, especially on the last day as companies close their positions out or whatever. So, yeah, I hope you guys had a good week, and I'll be back again Monday. I'll see you then. Take care.